So the first question, let's say, write this in terms of A, B, and C. When they say write in terms of A, B, and C, your answer needs to consist of A and B and C. So the first one they say is cos theta. So what we say, what is cos theta? Cos theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. So that will just be B over C. And the answer is 1.1.2. So also what is sin 90 minus theta? So sin 90 minus theta is basically just cos theta if you do co-functions, and then after that, that is again just B over C. Okay, so for 1.2.1, I just redraw the graph a little bit. So the first thing we need to work out is we need to work out what this hypotenuse side is. To do that, we're going to just say that is r squared is equal to 3 squared plus minus 4 squared. So that is 9 plus 16 square root of 25, which is 5. So r is 5. So we need to get 1 over 4 sin squared theta. That will just be, sin theta will then just be what? Minus 4 over 5. So then that will be 16 over 25. And that will then be 4 over 25. That will be your answer. Okay. So for the next question, I'll just keep this here. That's number 5. That's 5. On 2.2, they say so that sec squared theta minus 1 is equal to tan squared theta. Okay, tan we know is opposite over adjacent, so that's minus 4 over 3 squared, so that is 16 over 9. So now we just need to know what is sec. Sec is basically a 1 over cos. So 1 over cos basically means, so cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. So now we just need to flip it, so we're going to say that is 5 over 3 squared minus 1. So then that is 25 over 9 minus 1. 1 we just make it as 9 over 9. So 25 minus 9 is just 16 over 9, which is then equal to 16 over 9. That's how we prove it. So this question, they say you can do it with the calculator, question 2.1. So if you press this whole thing in the calculator, you will just get your answer is 2,34. Okay? So for the next question, we get 2.2. We get cos 2 theta minus 10 equal to 0,091. This is over 2. First thing we're going to do, we're going to multiply the 2 over. So we're going to get cos 2 theta minus 10 equal to 0,182. Then we're going to do we're going to get the reverse of cos. So we're going to do the inverse of cos, which is 182. Okay, so we put that in the calculator. So we get, for that we get 79,51. So then we're going to take the 10 over plus 10. So then 2 theta is going to be theta, so it's going to be 89,51 divided by 2. And then theta is just going to be that divided by 2, which is basically 44, something. Okay? You can place it in the calculator. Thank you. Okay, so the next question, they say solve this equation without using a calculator. So for now we know that tan 10 and cot 10 is basically the opposite of cot, because cot is just 1 over tan. So that we can already say these two will cancel each other out. So here we're going to say 2 sin 60. 60 is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's square root 3 over 2 squared minus sin 45 is 1 over square root 2. Sec is basically 1 over cos, so that is just square root 2 over 1 plus a quarter times 1, because these two basically cancel out. So then we can say this becomes 2 times 3 over 4, and these two just basically cancel out, so that's minus 1 plus a quarter, and then this becomes 6 over 4 minus 1 plus a quarter. So if I basically do this, I'm going to put that, so I'm going to make that 7 over 4 minus 4 over 4, then your answer is just 3 over 4. Okay? Okay, so in this question they ask us to sketch the graph of fx is equal to sin x plus 2 and gx, which is 2 cos x. Okay, so I'll start with fx. So that basically means the sin graph. Okay, so when we normally start at 2, at 0, we need to move 2. So that's if 1 is here, 2 is going to be there. So we normally start here at 0. So we need to move this unit just 2 units upwards. So we're going to go, if I make that 3 there, so we're going to go up by 90, come through here, turn by 1 and, sorry, come through, just draw it better, come through 180, turn at 270 and at 2 again. Okay, so that's at 270, that's at 180, and that's 90, and that's point. So that's your fx graph. Just make it if there. So then now we're going to do the 2 cos. So with 2 adjust, with the cos here, adjust your amplitude, that you're still going to start by 0, but we start by 2 now. Okay, so we're going to start by 2, we go through 180, and we go through and we end by 2 like that. Okay, so that is minus 1, minus 2. It's going to turn by minus 2, it cuts at 90, cuts at 270, and it ends by 2 again. Okay, so now they say we must write down for 3.2, they say write down the range of G, which is the blue one. Okay, so the range is what do we do? The range is y is the element of real numbers, where y is smaller and equal to 2, but bigger and equal to negative 2. Okay? Then 3.2.2 says for which values of x will f decrease. So where does f decrease? Can you see? If you look at the graph, where does f decrease? Here f decrease at this part here, and where does f from there till here? From there till by 270 basically. So then this whole space there, that's where f decreases. So that means that's going to be, x is going to be between equal to 270 and 90 degrees. Okay? So they say question 4, they say determine the midpoint of R and S. R is the midpoint. We say that is basically x1 over plus x2 is over 2. Okay, so then that is just going to be between R and S, so that is going to be 2 plus 2 over 2 and what is that? 5 plus minus 3 over 2. Okay, so then that is going to be, or is midpoint is just going to be, that's 2 plus 2 is 4, divided by 2 is 2, that's 5 plus minus 3 is 2 over 1, 2 is 1, so R is 2 and 1, okay. So then they say find coordinates of T so that the rest forms a parallelogram. So what do we know about the midpoints of a parallelogram? The midpoints are basically equal, okay? So because a parallelogram, if you have a parallelogram, basically they cut one another, that midpoint, is equal. Doesn't mean it's equal, yeah, okay? So if you do that, if you look at, so the midpoint must be for UT must also be 2 and 1, okay? So UT's midpoint must also be 2 and 1. So if we do the midpoint of UT, what is the midpoint of UT? So that will be minus 2 plus x over 2, and then that will be 1 plus y over 2. So then we can just make this equal to 2. So that's minus 2 plus x over 2 is equal to 2, or 1 plus y over 2 is equal to 1. So here we're just going to multiply the 2 over and take the 2 over. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus the 2 that comes over, then x is 6. And then if you take the 2 over, it's 2. Minus 1 is, y is then 2 times 1 is 2. Minus 1 is 1. So then your answer is just 6 and 1. So T is basically 6 and 1. So they say for calculate the length of RU. RU's length, we say that is x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So we just used U and R. So I will say that is square root 2 minus 2 squared, and then I will say plus 5 minus 1 squared, and then this is just 4, 2 plus, basically 2 plus 2 is 4, squared is 16, plus 4 squared is 16, and that is just square root 32. So for question 4.4, the ask given that RU is parallel to SP is equal to 2 RU, find the coordinates of P so that RU forms a trapezium. So the first thing that we're going to have, we basically here by this question, we're going to have to get two equations and simultaneously solve the equation. So the first equation we can get, because RU is parallel to SP, we can get the gradient of RU first. What is the gradient of RU? That will be it can be 1 minus 5 over minus 2 minus 2, and that will give us 1. So it means that MSP is also 1. So if we work out what the formula is for this, is basically we can just say that is x plus c, and we can just substitute a point in, which is just get the S formula. So then we can put in y, that is minus 3, x is 2, which gives us plus c. To take c over, we get c is equal to minus 5. So the formula is then x minus 5. So I just wipe out all the other details quickly because I'm going to run out of space for this question. So here we got our first formula, okay? Y is equal to that. so then we also know SP, they say, is equal to basically double the SP is double your what you call it. Go back. SP. So SP. Let's take this out. SP is 2 times RU. It's 2 times the distance of RU. Okay. So if we take what's the distance of RU. So if you do SP, if we're just gonna do the distance of SP, we're gonna say that is x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equal to 2 times RU, which was square root 32, so that's 2 square root 32. Okay, so if we multiply this out here, so it's going to be a long thing here, so that's going to be x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus, so this is going to be y squared plus 6y plus 9, and that's equal to, you can make that 2 square root 32. Okay, so then what we can do then, we can just say so we can solve this by saying this is, we can square it on both sides to get rid of the brackets, squared. So then here we're going to get x squared minus 4x plus 4, but then I'm going to substitute, just substitute this into y here, so that's going to be x minus 5 squared plus 6 times x minus 5 plus 9, so this just becomes 128, because that squared is just 128. Okay, so if I take this away, if we multiply all of this out now, then we're going to be left with, so if I just do this, this is going to become x squared minus 4x, 9 plus 4 is just 13, so this becomes plus x squared, and this becomes minus 10x plus 25, and that becomes plus 6x minus 30 equal to 128. Okay, so then if I combine everything, we're going to say that's going to be x plus x squared, that is 2x squared. Then we're going to say minus 4x minus 10x is minus 14x plus 6x is minus 8x. And then we're going to go 13 minus 30 is minus 17. Yeah, minus 17 minus 128. So that is 13 plus 25, which is 38, minus 30 is 8. 8 minus 128 is then just minus 120 equal to 0. So if you just divide the right side over 2, you're going to get x squared minus 4x minus 60 equal to 0. Factorize that. That's going to be x minus 10, x plus 60 equal to 0. Then x is equal to 10, and or x is equal to minus 60. So then all that you need to do, if you have that information now if you have, I'm just going to write it equal to 10 here and x equal to minus 60. So we got that now. So then I'm just going to wipe those out. If we need to work out what y is, so to work out y, we're going to say y is equal to, quickly, so y is equal to the first one 10 minus 5, which is 5, and the other one is y is equal to minus 60 minus 5 is equal to minus 50, minus 65. And that's your 2 points that you can get. So your points going to be 10 and 5, or minus 60 and minus 65. So the points that I think is P is in 10 and 5. Okay. So question 5. So ask, complete the statement. If the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are equal, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. I don't know if I spelled that, but that's 5.1 is parallelogram. Okay? So then, the next question, for 5.2, they say prove 5.2.1, they say determine the value of x. So the first thing we can say that E1 is equal to x. Why? Because AB is equal to AE, which means that the angles are equal. So that means that B1 is equal to E1, which is then equal sides, equal angles. Okay? Then the next one is 3. E3. E3 is also 2x. It's basically the same. It's also equal sides, equal angles. But that is because DC is equal to EC. And then that means that angle D is equal to E3. Okay? It's the same thing as that. So then we have that E1 is, so then we can say E1 plus E2 plus E3 is equal to 180 degrees. So that's the sum of that straight line, basically. Okay? So E1 is an x plus E2, which is 90, plus E3, which is 2x, is equal to 180. We have 3x on this side, 180 minus 90, which is 90. Then x is just 30 degrees. So for 5.2.2, they say prove that ABCD is a parallelogram. But we already have a statement in question 5.1 that says if the opposite angles of a quadrilateral are equal, then it is a parallelogram. So if we can show a pair of opposite angles that's equal, then we can say that it's a parallelogram. So I will start with, if we can determine x is 30. So we now know A can then be 180 minus 30 minus 30. This is that the sum of the angles in the triangle is equal to 180. So then A is just 180 minus 30 is 150. A is 120 degrees. So we can determine C. So C1, C2 will just be E3 we said is 2x. So that's 2 times 30, so that is 60. Why? Alternative angles. Okay? Because ED is parallel to BC. Okay? So then to do C1, C1 is the same as 180 minus E3, which is 60, minus D, which is also 60, and that's also the sum of the angles in the triangle is equal to 180. So that is 180 minus 60, that's 120, so that is 60. So now we can see that A is 120 and the whole of C is 60 plus 60, which is 120. So then A is equal to, basically equal to C, which means that then this whole thing is a parallel. So A, B, C, D is a parallelogram. Parallelogram, why? Because opposite angles are equal. Okay, that's how we determine it.